Hey guys, Coach Hugo Broos is available for your questions. Fire away. Oh, no question.
Coach, just a little bit more on Batusi. What has he done to impress you and deserve as one of the few new players in the squad?
I think Batusi was playing good in the beginning of the season, but that he was out of the team. There has been reasons for that, I'm sure. But then he came back in the team, and I saw again what I like on him. It's a different type of player than the other midfielders. He's a tall guy. He's very aggressive in duel. He's also a guy who can score, who can be in the 16. And this is something we were looking for. So I think he deserves a chance. I was very pleased with what he showed us on the pre-camp. So we will see in the future. And maybe already now for the game against Morocco, maybe he can come in, but that depends of the way the match will go.
Coach, you touched a bit on Masego, the young Masego from SuperSport. You've always been a coach that believes in young players.
Yeah.
What is it that he possesses that other youngsters playing in his position don't have currently?
Sure, comparing is difficult, but I know what he can. And he has a good left foot, good center shot. He is quick, very quick. He is strong in duel, and that was a surprise for me to see that in the pre-camp. He was playing against those other guys, so yeah, it was very good. And again, he is a player with quality. He just needs that international experience. And therefore I called him, and again what I saw on pre-camp, it was for me a reason to keep him with the team.
Coach, Kanye Samayo finished top goal scorer or joint top goal scorer in the DStv Premiership. Did you not see enough in the pre-camp to have him in this final squad? Does it show that it's difficult for the strike force?
This is what I already told. You have to make decisions and you have to make choices. And sometimes the choices are difficult also for me. Should I take Mayo, or should I take Saleng, or should I take another striker? Yes, you take a little bit the opportunities from what can he not, what can the other one. And at the end, yes, it was Mayo we didn't choose. But that has nothing to do with the fact that he didn't show enough on pre-camp, or that because it was his end of the season was very good. He started scoring again with his team. But yes, sometimes you can't really explain why you choose that player or why we don't choose that player. And again, the choices are starting being difficult sometimes. And he deserved to be with us, but yeah, I can only select 23 players.
Coach, I think if you can just go into this actual match, it's for those people who know that it's dead rubber, but you're probably looking at it as one of those practice matches that you really need against a strong team. How do you then motivate the players to go on and give it their all, knowing very well that the result is achieved?
I should not be pleased if I have to motivate the players to play against Morocco. Then there is a big problem. If players are not motivated to play against Morocco, a team like Morocco, then I think it's better that you go home and you don't come with Bafana Bafana to play that game. This is where you become a professional player for. Those games. This is a big game. If you do a good performance, if the team does a good performance, if you have a positive result, it's also good for you as a player. So you have to know that those games are seen by many people, because it's an interesting game. It's interesting to see the guys of Morocco, but also, what other guys of South Africa can do. So that has to be enough as a motivation for a player. if you play against a team like that. And I repeat again, if you can't motivate yourself for such a game, then you have to stop. You have to stop and do something else.
Coach, Morocco, you'll be playing them in two phases. You played them pre-World Cup, you're playing them post-World Cup. And one would think that you'll be playing two different teams with those the same squad. What's the kind of difference in intensity and tactical difference are expecting from them since their World Cup sojourn, where they looked cut above every African team then?
I think if you see the evolution of Morocco in the last years, it doesn't come like this. Huh? You don't have suddenly good players. Yeah, you have them. But why do you have good players? And I know very good how they are working in Morocco, because there is a Belgian guy who is responsible for the youth. Chris van Pervelde. I know him very good. So I know what they are doing and how they are working. So, yes, they educate, there's a good formation. Everybody's working on that. And then suddenly you have all those good players, what we had years ago with Belgium too. So this is formation. And you see how once you are there, then you become better. It was not such a surprise for me that Morocco was third on the World Cup. And when they had to play against Belgium, there was journalists who asked me, what do you think? I said, what do you think? I think Belgium will not win that game. And he laughed with me. I know, these are high quality players. And again, for us, it's good to play against them and to see, oh, what is the difference here? And to work hard in the next years, also to make those players. But again, you don't get them from the trees, like an apple. Oh, here's a good... No. It needs formation, it needs education. And they work on a very, very good level in Morocco.
Coach, have you had a conversation with Mvala? Because he's been, he's been in one of those battles with the fans, calling for his head, even Sundowns fans, but now bring him into the national team. What sort of a chat did you have with him after that accident he had?
First of all, yes, this is an accident. And I know I was myself defender. I know how difficult it is to kick that ball, because you're running to your own goal. And one miscontrol or whatever, or mistouch of the ball, that happens. So don't blame him for that. I was joking with him, saying when he came on pre-camp that he starts scoring now. So but yeah, it happens. But the worst part of that is that you're eliminated of the final with that goal. But don't blame the player for that. And I don't think that the club blamed him for that. Maybe supporters, but yes, this is emotion. And but again, for me, this is not a reason to start doubting on him or. And I said it to him also. Leave that behind you. It's finished. You can't change that anymore. And it happens to the best players of the world. Such things. It was not the right moment, but okay. Why going on that and why talking about that? It's not so important anymore.
Coach, earlier on you touched on the issue of expectation from the fans, given that we're playing a team as good as Morocco. Can you just clarify that issue of saying the fans must not be too hard on the players if the results goes around?
No, and please start to understand that if you play against teams like that, the world champion France, the third on the World Cup, Morocco, that you are the weakest team. You are the weakest team. Don't dream that you, for this moment, you have players as good as they are. The reality is that they are a much better team than we for the moment. So don't ask miracles. Even when you lose 3-0, 4-0, even then there's a good part on that. And the good part on the 5-0 of France was that we start thinking and we said, oh, hey, what do we have to do to have a better team? At the other side, it's a good test for us to see where we are. But again, I was furious after France of the guys who criticized us, and especially me. And when I see who did that, then I ask myself, do you know what it's all about in football? I ask myself that. So again, now we are in front of a very difficult game against a very good opponent. Just look at the performances of our players and look how good we are or still how bad we are. That is why we use those games. That is why, okay, we have to play that game. We didn't choose it. But for me, it will be a very interesting game, really. And I will not be angry if we lose. I will be very happy if we draw, and I can't explain how I will feel if we win. But even if we should win against Morocco, don't think that we have a world team. Don't think. But it would be, a very big step. That is true.
Coach, apart from the result, what would please you most to see next Saturday?
What?
What would please you the most to see next Saturday?
The performance of my team. That's all. We will see how they perform, and there will be certainly weaknesses, but there will be also strong things, good things. And I hope that the good things are in the majority. And this is important for me, how our defense will play against our players, how our strikers will play against those defenders, how as a midfield will play. This is important for me for next Saturday. And a little bit also the result, I have to be honest, but this is on the second row.
Coach, maybe a three-part question. Can you please just touch base on Lyle Foster's absence and also Miguel's team's absence, because most of even the journalists thought that did a good season. And maybe the last one, Coach, there's been a debate about whether Teboho Mokoena was deserving of the Football of the Season award more than Mona Pulesalo, and maybe your opinion on that.
What? I don't understand you. You speak so quick.
The first one, Coach, is maybe can you just touch base on Lyle Foster's absence, why he's missing out of
Lyle Foster?
Yes, and also a second one, Coach, Miguel team's absence as well, because we thought he had a good season. And the last one, Coach, Teboho Mokoena, was he a deserving Footballer of the Season more than Mona Pulesalo?
First of all, Lyle Foster, I was doubting already because his last game was on the end of April. So that means that he was 2 months in holiday before we played against Morocco. And even when he was training individually, I was still doubting. And then the call came from Vincent Kompany's coach, and he asked me if I should agree that Lyle start the pre-season with them on the 5th of June. And he explained me why, and I agreed. I think it was for Lyle very important to start the pre-season with his new team, and to be ready when the season starts in England. So I said to him, okay, for once I will do that, because I think it's in the interest of Lyle. When he shouldn't be there now, after the 17, I think there is still 1 week training and then they are again on holiday. That should not be good for him. So therefore, I agreed to release him for the pre-season. There's Mokoena and Tim, and again, those are choices you have to make, and they are sometimes very difficult, and sometimes you can't explain why you do it. So Tim deserved it to be with us. I saw him playing in the pre-camp. I saw his trainings. But yes, you have to choose. And I chose not to take Tim. Finished. And everything what I can say about that is not important. It's just a choice and finished.
Footballer of the Season award?
What?
Footballer of the Season award. Was Mokoena deserving more than Salim?
it's not. You know, it's a choice, and you don't have to know always the reason why. For me, it's sometimes also when I choose and said, yeah, okay, but maybe I should have taken this one. No, I should. So I sometimes I doubt also. So the decisions are not so easy in some situations.
Coach, your squad here is bereft of Kaizer Chiefs players, and in a previous press conference we were at Sfiso Hlanti and Yusuf Mart, who owned up to the fact that the form was not quite where it needed to be to play for the national team. But how is it concerning that players that you've had in your national team setup who've moved to the most popular and the biggest team in the country are suddenly not cutting it in your squad at the moment?
You know, there are only 23 players to choose, huh? So if you are going to choose players because they are playing in the biggest team of the country, then I have to choose 30 players. That is not possible.
Coach, just on selection while you're still there, we obviously would have seen the Morocco squad last month as well. Are you surprised that they are bringing almost their World Cup squad, and did that influence your selection to your squad? And we see you becoming a lot more consistent with your selection now. You seem to have a big core. How important is it to be consistent with your core and not bring players in here and there based on form only?
It's important because there are nearly always the same players, and you don't have to restart every time. Players know very good and very well now what I ask, what I want, how we are training, and so on and so on. So I don't have to explain anymore. They are coming, everyone knows what to do, everyone knows what not to do. So, yeah, it's very easy when you work, and this is one of the easiest part of a club, coach. Every day you have your players there, and they are always the same. So what we did before, it was making many changes every time, because we didn't find what we want. So since September last year, yes, those 2 games against Sierra Leone and Botswana were for me the start of, okay, with these guys I want to go through. I want to go on with these guys. And it changed a little bit left, a little bit right, but okay, it were for 80%, 90% it were the same players. And then you can achieve something more easy than every time you have to change. Oh, my center defender is not good. Oh, which one will I take? Oh, we'll take this one and try. Because then you're always trying. Now you have your squad, you have your team, not only 23, but 30, 35 players. And this is more easy for me to work.
And Morocco, did they strong?
Yeah, but Morocco, okay, I don't choose in function of Morocco or Botswana or Sierra Leone or whatever. I choose my players, and I try to choose what for me are or is the best team, and that is not in function of the opponent.
Coach, what is your message to Neo Maema, who has missed out, and also the way that coach is someone that you know very well, you won the Cup of Nations with him. Maybe words of good luck for him for the second leg.
Yeah, first of all, it's if you ask for me who's going to win the Champions League, I don't know. Really, I don't know. You can tell from Al Ahly this is good and this is bad, but you can tell it from Wydad also. They have their weaknesses and they have their strongest points. The disadvantage for Al Ahly is that they couldn't make a difference in Cairo. So now they have to play there. It will be well, you can't imagine what the how you call that, the atmosphere will be there in that stadium. It will be awful for Al Ahly. So and then I don't know the players so well. Then are they, or will they consist on that pressure of that Moroccan public? So I don't know. I don't know what who will win. And I'm also between, how you call it in English, between two chairs. They can decide. So at the other part I want Al Ali, but then Percy wins. But at the other part I also want Widat, because he's my friend who is coach there. So it's very difficult for me to do or to talk about that, who will win, who do you want to win. And therefore also, and I think the coach mentioned it on his press conference, we didn't have contact when they played against Sundowns. We are clever enough not to have contact. I know it's my friend, I want to help him, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I'm Bafana Bafana coach. There's a South African team who's playing. So we didn't have contact. I have contact with him after the game here, the 2-2. Then I called him. But before that, I didn't want to have any contact with him. And we didn't have it.
And now Maima? Now Maima?
Maima? Yeah. Again, it's always the same thing. What I told you, those are players who has to be in a team. He's a good player, but is he ready for us? I don't know. I can't call 7, 8 players like that in my team. To try them. It's impossible. So we need a team. And again, I repeat it again, why not playing with those guys, Kosafa? Then you have a good view on them. And then you see, and they have international experience. When will those guys play? When? When there is a game of -23 in 6 months? I don't know. So they don't play. And if there's an opportunity, then okay. Then there is no FIFA window. We don't release the players. How can you make progression?
Are you engaging the PSL with regard to this thing?
We asked the PSL, yes. And they said, no, it's a FIFA window, and they talked about sponsoring the PSL. They couldn't do it for the sponsor, whole explanation. Okay, I have to accept that. But if you think more about South African football and how can we make progression, how can we make it better, then you can't be happy with that decision.
Coach, just on that, has your relationship with the PSL clubs and coaches improved in recent times?
Again, I'm not a fool. I will not be on my knees and ask, please, can I talk to the coaches? If every time they cancel it for one or another reason, okay. That's not my problem anymore. Even I want to see the guys. I want to see my colleagues here in South Africa. But 4 times they cancel it. Yeah, okay. Not the coaches, huh? Don't misunderstand me. What can I do?
And one-on-one, maybe?
Yeah, one-on-one. I have to travel all over South Africa. Yeah, but you need to have the time for that. You need to visit 18 coaches. Yeah, can I come next week? No, I'm preparing the game. No, not next week. Oh, well, yes. Can I go? No. So, hey, you have to agree with 18 coaches, huh? And this week this one can, and next week this one cannot, and you become crazy. What isn't more easy than to organize a meeting and everybody is there? Okay, what's more simple than that? Nothing. Yeah, because when I want to visit a coach, I have to ask it also. Huh? I can't go like this.
Okay, last 2 questions, guys.
Coach, you said you have to go to 18 coaches. In fact, it's 16.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
My question is,
Come on. Hey.
my question is, coach. You know, there was a story regarding a talk that somebody wants, SAPA wants the teams to increase to 18 teams from 16.
Yeah.
Do you think from 16? Do you think you should be having 16 teams, or you will like for the PSL teams to go to 18?
Let's first start to make the PSL competition stronger. I think the more teams you have, I think now for the moment, I think you don't get the PSL stronger with that. I don't think so.
And coach, I think it was in that match against Botswana where you said some of the players may never play for Bafana under your guidance. I remember there were players like Ashley Dupree who didn't have a good game. Have you seen any improvements from those players that maybe in the near future you can?
Are they with us? Yeah, it's simple as that. Yeah, it's simple as that.